Welcome to the 15th and final episode of Social Distance Television, the show founded during the COVID-19 scare to make our students more aware.
With the school year for the class of 2020 coming to an end, we are sad to announce the conclusion of this season of Social Distance Television.
I'm Elena Pittman.
And I'm Devin Handy.
And you're watching
SDTV.
On today's episode, we'll share with you a variety of student submissions. But first, let's see what's in the news.
Last week, the University of California school system announced that it will suspend the use of SAT and ACT scores until fall of 2024. This is a dramatic change from their last announcement last month, saying that they'll suspend the use of standardized tests for 2021.
The UC system, arguably the most influential college system in the country, is also considering a few options beyond 2024, including creating its own test or suspending standardized testing requirements for California students indefinitely.
MCPS will honor the class of 2020 with a graduation celebration on Saturday, June 7th, featuring Jose Andres, chef, humanitarian, and the founder of the World Central Kitchen, as the commencement speaker.
The event will pay tribute to more than 10,500 seniors, and it's emceed by NBC4 anchor Leon Harris. And here's how you can tune in.
This Memorial Day week, the U.S. has recorded close to 2 million cases of COVID-19, and over 100,000 Americans have died due to COVID-19 related complications. Our show was originally created to fill a 2-week gap while MCPS was on emergency leave. And here we are, 15 episodes later.
And although nothing about the near future is clear, it is clear that the need for student news and connection is as important as ever. So, as long as we are asked to keep our social distance, we hope, with your help, SDTV will have a second season soon.
With that being said, this wraps up our Season 1 news coverage.
Hello everyone, I'm Griffin Boswell, the producer of SDTV. You may know me from socioarchaeology or as a fellow student from Bethesda Cherry Chase High School. I wanted to take this time to thank you all for being such a great audience. This show would not be nearly as fun if there weren't, people watching it, so thank you so much for that. This show has been a great learning experience for both me and everyone involved. But as this season of SDTV ends, I know our core production team wanted to share a few thoughts talking about their experience with social distance television.
Hi, I'm Elena Pittman, and I'm a co-anchor on SDTV with Devin Handy. I joined SDTV when it started shortly after we went on quarantine in March. I thought that SDTV would be a great way to get more involved in the community while also doing an activity that I really enjoy. I used to be an anchor at one of my previous schools, and I really miss doing it. Once I heard about the opportunity to be a part of this project together with students from across the county, I thought I could pick up working for a news network again. I also love the idea of the show. The show is made for MCPS students to get their minds off of the depths of quarantine and any emotional struggles that they may be facing during this time. Being able to provide some light and sense of togetherness during these times has been very rewarding for me. That being said, my favorite part of the show is being able to interact with other BCC students in an environment other than school. It's been amazing watching so many students showcase their interests and talents. I also had the opportunity to meet and connect with many people at my school that I've never met before. It's been great seeing how everything came together and how much effort people put into the project, even through these difficult times that we spend isolated at home. It's been a great pleasure to be a part of SDTV.
I joined SDTV not only because it would be just something to do during quarantine, but also because it would be a great way to inform people and also stay in contact with people and just do something creative in this global pandemic. My favorite part of SDTV so far was creating the Sox news pieces because not only were they so funny and informative, but also it was my first time creating more of a long form animation. I had never animated anything over like maybe 15 seconds before. And so it was an awesome learning experience trying to figure out how to match the visuals that I wanted to portray along with a longer script.
Hello everybody, I'm Devin Handy. I originally joined SDTV because I saw various teacher announcements on Classroom about the positions such as editors and anchors for SDTV. And going into the beginning of quarantine, none of us really know and still don't know, how long this is going to last. So I thought, why not dedicate some of my time to bringing my fellow classmates and MCPS residents the most up-to-date information during this situation. My favorite part of SDTV has been being able to collaborate with various different students that I would never have met, and also seeing various talents and creativity over the last 15 episodes.
Hi, my name is Siham and I'm a part of SDTV's editing team. I joined SDTV because I had a lot of free time during this quarantine and I also like to edit videos, so SDTV helped me put two and two together. My favorite part of this experience was the fact that I had independence when I was editing the videos. People would submit their work and editors would get assigned videos, and I felt like as an editor I could add my own touch to the video. And I like that. So thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Nicholas O'Connor and I'm an editor for SDTV. Back when quarantine started, my mom initially told me about SDTV and, well, it seemed like a decent opportunity, so I thought I'd give it a try. I've edited many of the fear segments, as well as whatever other things have been randomly assigned to me. In the final episode, I edited Quarantine Cuts and Sophie Wastes Time. I would say probably the favorite thing of mine that I did was making the sibling rivalry segment with my brother. That was a lot of fun.
In recent years, the Lincoln Memorial has been the site for some major newsworthy events. Now, with social distancing and less visitors accompanying him, some may wonder how President Lincoln is holding up during this pandemic. Let's find out.
Abe here, sending my thoughts and prayers and whatever niceties one is apt to send these days. How am I, you might ask? Well, if I'm gonna be honest, which is kinda my brand, I'm a little, how would you say, pissed off. What happened to giving your so-called favorite president some respect? Not to mention a little respectful distance. The tourists, the selfies. I'm fine with all that. But when exactly did I become one big political prop? Let's just say my hallowed grounds are feeling rather hollow these days. Last year was the kerfuffle between the boys from Covington High, the BHI, and assorted others. Gentlemen, take your petty squabbles elsewhere. How do you say it these days? Get out of here. Get a room. Get off my plaza. The media made so much ado about nothing regarding that nonsense. I see bigger fights every day in the taxi lane to my right. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Then, last summer, it was Salute to America. I'm sorry, what was that exactly? Salute to America? Couldn't copyright and corner the market on the name Independence Day, so you just had to go and rebrand the 4th of July? The tanks, the flyovers, the B-list celebrities. I had such a headache after that one. Not to put too fine a point on it, but anyone who idolizes war that much has probably had the good fortune of avoiding war his whole life. Then, the other day, there was the whole creepy, newsy interview thing in front of my chair. Listen, people, what you do and say in your studios and in your homes is entirely up to you. You have that right. But you do not have the right to force me to watch that malarkey. Violation. Get yourself a green screen if you just need some passive background. And, on that note, where do you come off calling that a town hall? The vetting you did on those callers? That was downright undemocratic. You know what screening measures we had during the Lincoln-Douglas debates? 3 hitching posts so people did not bring their horses inside. I don't want to sound ungrateful. It's nice to have the most impressive memorial of all, but can't you go bother Jefferson for a change? After all, he was one of the fellows behind the whole Constitution we all say we love so much. Yet no one organizes rallies over by his memorial. Or how about FDR? He saved the world from fascism. Hold a B-list concert on his steps for a change. Now, part of me is flattered, really. But I gotta say, I'm flat out tired, too. Now, 1963. That was something special. That still gives me goosebumps thinking about that one. But all the recent hullabaloo? What say we back off and give old 16 a rest for a while? Because I'm telling you, if I get wind that my plaza will be used for a gun show or a reality show, I just might get up and get out of here myself. That all being said, peace to all.
Thank you, Honest Abe. ESPN has been struggling for content ideas during this pandemic. Before they greenlight 30 more episodes of the Michael Jordan documentary, we may suggest Sibling Rivalry. Let's check out what that show may look like.
Thank you, Aiden and Nicholas. Now, with the school year coming to an end and summer plans still in limbo, it is more important now than ever to stay positive. Luckily, here at SDTV you have talented students who do just that. Let's take a look.
The longer we remain positive, the easier it will be to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's for sure. The art segments featured during this season of SDTV have been nothing short of inspiring. We've heard from artists dealing with their fears through art. We've been treated to shadow puppets and light art. Today's episode is no exception. Isabel Baker's Draw What You See segment will have you channeling your inner DIY artist. not for everyone. And not everyone has the luxury to stream Netflix. But if the big red N on the black background is one of your viewing options, you probably also know how easy it is to go down the rabbit hole. To help you navigate what's worth watching and avoid the rest, we'll hand it over to Yabe.
Hi, welcome back to Quarantine Entertainment, where I recommend shows that you can binge watch while social distancing. The first show that I want to recommend is called Mixed Dish. It's basically a spin-off on the childhood of the mom that Tracy Ellis Ross plays in Blackish. If you don't know what that show is, check it out. It follows the life of Rainbow Johnson as she grows up in the 80s as a mixed girl. So her mom is black and her dad is white. And to top that off, she sort of just got out of a cult. So she's lived a pretty sheltered life and is now like experiencing racism and sexism and all of society's problems. It's very interesting. Like in one recent episode that I watched, it talked about homelessness and like her learning about it. So yeah, it's definitely a show that I would recommend. The next show that I want to recommend is called Full House. This show is about a single dad named Danny Tanner who has 3 little girls, and he raises them along his best friend and brother-in-law. And now, okay, I know what I said doesn't really sound that interesting, but I don't know any other way to explain it, but the actors like make it work. Like, it is absolutely hilarious. I have watched every single episode and I love it. And it's 7 seasons, so yeah. It's really sweet and it's just like a very just feel-good show. So yeah. Plus, in 2016, I think, Fuller House came out, and I think the 5th season just ended this year. So this will definitely be like a show that you can keep busy with during quarantine. The last show that I want to recommend is called Lincoln Rhyme Hunt for the Bone Collector. So I know that an older version of the show is like out there, but what I'm recommending is the newer version, like really recent, like very recent, you can tell. I'm pretty sure like in 2020 it came out. The pilot episode begins with Amelia Sachs, an NYPD officer who comes across a victim in the train station left by the bone collector. And then this brings about the attention of Lincoln Rhyme, an infamous NYPD detective who was left paralyzed from his last encounter with the bone collector. So Amelia Sachs and Lincoln Rhyme start to work together to like finally catch the bone collector once and for all, and it's very suspense-filled, very captivating, totally something you should check out.
With camps closed and the immediate prospect of many pools looking murky, boredom busting may reach the level of an Olympic sport. Graham has one way to get out and about and still keep your distance: fishing. Watch out, California coast. Graham is going to the University of California, Santa Cruz, but for now, he gives us fishing tips of a local variety.
Alright. Hi everyone, this is Graham, bringing you the 3rd, and I'm pretty sure final segment of Fishing with Graham. Today I was lucky enough to catch a beautiful looking catfish out of this Potomac River. It is, I haven't measured it yet, so let me just go ahead and measure it really quickly. I'm still not exactly sure how big it is. It is about about 1'4", 1'5", somewhere around there. This type of fish is actually invasive in the Potomac River, so perfectly legal to eat. When you catch one of these and you decide that you want to eat it, if it's big enough, you have to make sure to put it down as quickly and as humanely as possible, and the quickest way to do that is what I've done here, which is just stab it through its brain. You may see as I'm filleting it that there's a few twitches here or there. Don't worry, it's not alive. It cannot feel any pain. Those are just after twitches. But quickly, let me just show you a little anatomy of the catfish. Some basic things. We've got the tail here, we've got the mouth here, we've got some barbels that are like whiskers. This is where the name catfish comes from. On the side, we've got these pectoral fins, which are sharp. They have little spikes at the end. There too, we have gill plates here and some gills underneath. Two fairly big eyes that are on the top of the head, because this type of fish lives on the bottom. I actually caught it with a bloodworm on the bottom like I showed you in the first episode. This fish will live around the ground, the bottom of the river, and will look for all sorts of worms, little fish, stuff like that on the bottom. So their eyes are on the top of their head so they can look more up. On the back here we have the dorsal fin, which also has another spine. You have to be careful, you do not want to get stabbed by that. It actually has some venom on it and can be quite painful. Back here, I don't know if you can see these fins, these are the anal fins in the back. And then on the side of the fish here, you can see a line right there. That was a reflex. You can see a line right there, that is called the lateral line. That fish will use that line to sense other fish that are nearby in the water. And yeah, the mouth of the fish, very large. It doesn't have teeth, but it has these sort of sandpaper looking things that can really grind up whatever goes in there. So yeah, without any more ado, let's get into cutting open the fish. You trust whatever surface you've been working on. So we've got one fillet and two fillets. This fillet didn't come out so well because the ribs were really poking out on the other side of the fish, and I just couldn't get that much of it. But this one came out quite nicely. Next thing you're gonna want to do. Fish is a bit yellow. That's okay. All right. Next thing you're gonna want to do is skin the fillets. So here's how you do that. Again, you're gonna need a really sharp knife. Make sure your knife is still sharp. This knife is not the sharpest, but it's okay. Then what you're gonna want to do is go in from the side, make a little indentation right here down there. Okay, so you got something to hold on to. See, I got something to hold on to right here, and then you just wiggle the knife. Don't go too speedy. Stay as close to the skin as you possibly can, okay? Keep holding that meat. Just want to be nice. Woo! Okay. It didn't all come out. We'll try that again from the other side. Catfish skin I've found is especially slippery, and so it can be especially difficult to properly work it on. There we go. Filet is ready to cook. Let's go ahead and go inside. Here are the fillets right here. Next to them I've got these gluten-free breadcrumbs. It's just my mom is gluten-free. I'm going to be cooking them in that. Make her eat some of the fish. I don't think she likes catfish. But first thing you're going to want to do, take some good old canola oil, put it on a pan on the stove and get that, put that on low heat to start heating up a little bit. You do not want to start cooking your fish on a bowl that is not warm. Next thing you're going to want to do is take some of these breadcrumbs, put them in a little bowl. Okay, I'm leaving it everywhere. Whatever. Put in a little bowl like that, and then we're going to set that aside for now. Next thing, I'm going to take a egg, crack it into a different bowl. Yeah, I've always been bad at cracking eggs. Don't judge me. Alright, put our egg in there. For this, wash my hands quickly. For this size fish, I don't think we need 2 eggs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a whisk out. I'm gonna go ahead and whisk up that egg, alright, until you get a nice, smoothish, orangey looking paste thing. Alright. Try to heat up a little bit more. Make sure it's really nice and whisked. Just gotta lick that. Just shouldn't lick raw egg off my finger. Okay. Now let's get a little spatula out. So I've got something to flip the fish into. It's getting there. Let me go ahead and do the first fillet. What you're gonna want to do, put the fillet in there, flip it over, make sure it's all nice and eggy. And put that aside, then put the fillet in the breadcrumbs. Alright. Make sure the fillet is nicely coated in there. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, make sure you got both sides pretty even. I like mine have a lot on there. Put that on the pan. Take your next fillet, do the same thing with the egg. Alright. This fillet is a bit bigger than the first one, so I've just got to really make sure to get it all nice and good in there. And then, same thing with the breadcrumbs. Sometimes what people do is they'll take the fillet, put the egg on there, and then put them in a plastic bag full of breadcrumbs and shake that around. I've never tried that, but I think that would definitely work. There's a good space right there. Get filled. Still a bit open. Alright, now, oh yeah, it's nicely coated. Put it on there. Make sure the heat isn't too high. I'm gonna wash my hands again because that's raw fish and raw eggs that I've just been touching. Washing hands is key when cooking. Alright. Go ahead and do. Got our whole bag. Important. We've got many little pieces of fish. Here's the vital stage. Give them a little sprinkle in the little bit. When I say little, I mean big. And there's catfish caught, filleted, and cooked, all by me, right out of the river in my backyard. If I was a little bit more comfortable eating the other pieces of meat on that fish, I probably could have gotten a full dinner for myself, but it's still a good sized little meal. You get some rice or something on the side, a little bit of salad. But yeah, now y'all guys, now y'all know how to fillet and cook catfish. So do with that what you will. See ya. Alright. Final step is going ahead and eating what you've cooked, even what you've worked so hard for. I'm going to take this little piece. They're delicious.
Many of us are looking a little shaggy in quarantine, but few of us are hardcore enough to give ourselves a haircut. And even fewer are hardcore enough to let others judge the results. Viewer discretion advised, this may not be pretty.
Welcome back. we're here with our two contestants of the night. Josh Garfinkel with his fresh buzz cut with the messed up patches, and Hunter Callett with the old man who lives across the street. Do you guys have any
I would like
words?
to add. I would like to add that Hunter's haircut grew back, so I don't know if that really counts. I thought it was gonna be like forever
Josh,
type
hair
thing.
grows. Okay, that's crazy. Hunter, what
Yeah.
would you
Well,
like to say?
I thought that was like it.
No, I mean, all right. Now we have
That
to
should
scrap
take
this because
away
you just
points.
ruined it, Josh.
No, we're just gonna keep going.
Okay,
I just
but,
feel like that should take away points, to be honest.
yeah, but okay, Josh. I
Well,
mean,
we're only looking at when he got the cut,
who cares?
not afterwards.
All right, can we restart? Can we
No.
restart?
All right, Hunter, got any words before we go to the voting?
No, sir. I'm just gonna let the results speak for themselves.
All right.
Okay,
well,
loser.
Since
my
I'm the
God.
I'm the only judge tonight, I'm gonna have to call it. So we got Josh's buzz cut, and we got Hunter's old man that lives across the street. If I'm weighing both of them, Josh's looks more like a normal haircut, and Hunter's is more. He's got that comedic value though. While I do appreciate Josh's, bald patches, they're very nice touch. It takes a lot more skill to add in. I'm gonna still go with Hunter. So, Hunter, congratulations! You're the reigning champ for tonight's episode.
2 in a row, baby.
Josh just fell over and died. Josh, you can get up now.
While many sit under a reading lamp, few are bold enough to ask, where did this lamp come from? Fewer still do the research to find out. Never one to take up paint drying as a spectacular sport, Sophie Zimbler boldly goes where curiosity has taken few, none.
Hi, and welcome to Sophie Wastes Time. In this episode, I decided to pick an object in my house and learn everything I could about it in the span of this afternoon. So I want to know its history, I want to know its background, and most importantly, I want to know why it's in my house. Today, I will be focusing on this lamp that is currently sitting in my living room. I decided the best way to start would be to gather some research. What are lamps? Are there different types? Are some better than others? In order to answer some of these questions, I enlisted the help of my brother, Gabe. I started off by simply researching what is a lamp. A lamp can be a device for giving light, either one consisting of an electric bulb, or one burning gas or liquid fuel, or it could even be a source of spiritual or intellectual inspiration. My lamp is a device for giving light. It consists of an electric bulb and a shade. So it looks like we got a lamp. Google had an abundance of lamp questions, so I kept going. I clicked, why is it called a lamp? And I got a pretty straightforward answer. I learned that there are way more types of lamps than I ever imagined. There are neon induction lamps, hurricane lamps, kerosene lamps, tornado lamps, and these cool mushroom lamps. I found myself distracted with an abundance of genie information, and I was disturbed to learn that some mythical genies are evil, like this guy, and not like our favorite genie from Aladdin. This one, not this one. I quickly ended my research after seeing that Google had recommended the search, "What's a word for feeling empty?" which made me sad and allowed me to move on. It was for the best, because my brother's research was starting to get a little intense.
Examining the Cesaro mean.
Oh wow, okay.
Apparently it has some relation to Thomson's lamp.
What is Thomson's lamp?
Well, supertasks are often described by sequences that do not converge. J.F. Thomson, 1954, introduced one such example, now known as
I decided to move on to my next question, which was, where is the lamp actually from? According to my mom, Crate and Barrel. I quickly looked at some reviews for Crate and Barrel. They seemed pretty good, although one guy said the food was really good, but the service could have been better. And then I had to wonder for a couple of minutes if Crate and Barrel sells food. I'm convinced it doesn't, but Henry also seems convinced, so we're just gonna have to let that one go. I finally found the lamp after endless searching, and let me tell you, the description of this thing was beautiful. I scrolled up to the price and my god, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I know it's got a personality and a finial, but $529? That's a lot of money. This led me to my next question. What could be so special about this lamp? I mean, for me, it's definitely its contemporary megaphone white shade that covers 2 sockets for optimal lighting, but I wanted to see what other people would say. What are your favorite things about that lamp? Or do you have any favorite things about that lamp?
No.
Okay. What qualities about it do you like?
It's interesting.
What are your favorite things about the lamp?
It's tall.
It seems that this lamp may just be an overpriced statement piece that we used to read once every 2 months. But it makes my mom kind of happy and it gave me something to do for a solid 4 hours today. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of Sophie Wastes Time, and I hope you feel inspired to look deeper at some of the things around you that might usually go unnoticed.
Can you believe it's been 15 years since the theatrical debut of Shark Boy and Lava Girl? If you, like many, dreamed of someday donning the pink wig or the dorsal fin, you'll want to pay close attention to Brian's master's thesis on stunt doubles from that transformative movie.
Hey, it's Rad Vision for cool kids. Let's go!
So I was waiting in line at Hot Topic, and the guy in front of me was the stunt double for Mr. Electric from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the 2005 film. Mr. Electric is played by George Lopez, and he's this little robot character with George Lopez's face. He's the bad guy in the film, and he torments Shark Boy and Lava Girl and screams at them. I don't know if he does it actually because I haven't seen the film, but George Lopez's stunt double for the film told me all about Shark Boy and Lava Girl. So the stunt double for George Lopez's character, Mr. Electric, is built like Mr. Electric. He's like 4 feet tall. He's 4 feet tall and really wide, and his head comes up to about my stomach. He asked me if he could cut in front of me because he was the stunt double for Mr. Electric in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the film. When I said no, he couldn't cut in front of me despite his clout. He offered me merchandise from the Burger King to promote the 2005 film Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which I refused. This was from back before import laws were as sophisticated as they are today. So the paint probably had lead in it, which also explains why I found a child collapsed outside Hot Topic.
For our final clap out, we'd like to clap out to you, the viewers, for supporting and watching the content we work hard to produce.
And that concludes this season of Social Distance Television.
I'm Elena Pittman.
And I'm Devin Handy. And thank you for watching SDTV.